Let's talk about something extremely boring but so underrated and so important that we just cannot not talk about it. Let's talk about prevention. Hello and welcome. I'm Rita Rózsás and welcome to the Whole-istic. Prevention. What is your first reaction when you hear this word? It is like, oh, not again. Prevention is so boring, so laborious, so much you have to do in order to keep your state. It's just, and why would I? Why would I work for prevention when actually I have a pretty good life? I have my health, I have my wealth, I feel fulfilled-ish, I have happy relationships. Why the heck would I work on prevention? And actually that is exactly the reason why you should work on prevention. Because you want to keep this state. You want to keep your health. You want to keep your wealth. You want to keep your fulfillment, your happy relationships. And guess what? Those are all require work to prevent what can be on the other side. Because you don't appreciate your health, because it feels like, yes, it's natural, I'm healthy, until something happens and you lose that health. Then you would give anything just to get your health back. Same with relationships. You have a husband, you have a wife, you have kids. Why would you do the extra mile just to show them your appreciation? Exactly, that's why. Because you want to keep your happy relationships. You want to keep your husband, your wife, your kids, and everybody, and yourself happy. But that requires extra work. Same with your job. If you feel fulfilled-ish, that you need to keep doing that. If you don't feel fulfilled, on the other hand, if you find your work tedious and just so below yourself, you would give anything for a job or work that would make you feel fulfilled. Prevention is only boring when something happens that you don't have your gorgeous state, what you are in right now. But again, prevention is 100% better than cure, than therapy, than surgery itself when something bad happens. But prevention only stands in the middle. There is something better actually than prevention. Because prevention implies that you are working against something bad. You are working against losing your loved one. You are working against being sick. You are working against your unfulfilled state. And if you work against something, and now you know this much better than anybody else, if you work against something, you keep focusing on that negative thing. Losing your loved one, being sick, being unfulfilled, losing your money and your financial stability. You don't want to prevent, you don't want to work on prevention in order to lose something. That is a wrong type of focus. You want to work on prevention to be proactive, to keep your health, to keep your wealth, to keep your happy relationships, to keep your fulfilling job. And that is the whole point of prevention. You don't want to prevent cancer. You don't want to prevent financial disaster. You don't want to prevent divorce. You want to prevent and proactive. You want to prevent that life which is actually quite negative. You want to prevent yourself from that, but that's not prevention. You proactively work towards it, and that is your prevention. Your prevention is not against something. Your prevention is proactively work for something, and that's a huge distinction between the two. Because proactively working for something, I'm working for my health, for my wealth, for my happy relationship, gives you a much clearer idea, a much better feeling, a much higher frequency, if you will, that if you work against cancer, if you work against accident, if you work against anything. We don't ever want to work against anything. We work for something. So prevention sits in the middle. On the left side, there is something which has already happened. Sickness, losing job, losing financial security, divorce, something that has already happened. You might have actually had some saying, prevention to do that, if you were doing the stuff. For example, if you were to live holistically, you might have been able to prevent this seasonal flu. You might have been able to prevent that stomach bug, because that's what you work for and not against. But whatever, if you have that kind of sickness or divorce or unhappy relationship or financial trouble, that is already has happened. That's not prevention. Prevention sits in the middle. You might have been able to prevent it, might not, but that's not the point. The point is being actively working towards something. I work towards my happy relationship with my husband. I work towards my financial security. I work towards my health by being conscious of what I'm eating and what I'm drinking and how I'm moving my body. So prevention is in the middle, disaster on the left, your dream life is on the right. But prevention in this case, not working against something, but proactively working for something. And that is a huge difference. So now I only wish you to start living holistically, wholly, because this dream life, this good life, everything that contains is containing a whole life in it. Because that's what holistic really means. A happy body, a healthy mindset, a good nutrition, a nourishing thoughts would actually ensure happy, healthy, wealthy, fulfilled, and all of this great stuff. But you need to work proactively for it, not prevent disaster to happen. So if you are new to this holistic living idea and you don't know where to start, check out my other videos. I give you a full spectrum of how I started and how you can start, because this life, trust me, is miles better than whatever you can have on the other side. So it's not prevention, it's working towards a holistic life.